Hello, race fans all around the globe. You are in Paddock headquarters. Thank you for watching the program. Talking all things Formula One. Today, I want to talk about Helmut Marko and Red Bull and the comments that he made about Sergio Checo Perez. Now, Helmut Marko is one of the top, obviously, boss at Red Bull, and Sergio Checo Perez, one of the drivers, along with Max Verstappen, Formula One. And he essentially said that because Sergio Checo Perez is a South American, he is not as focused as Max Verstappen, as, say, somebody who is Dutch or German. Now, there's a couple things wrong with that statement, but I want to go into it a little bit, and I want you to stick with me through this video and let me know what you think at the end. Now, Helmut Marko, he's a boss. He's at the top. He's an old man. He really is. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know I'm not a fan of his. He's kind of a jackass. He's insensitive. He's very blustery. He runs his mouth a lot, and he really does not take other people's feelings into consideration. And, you know, if you asked him, I'm sure he would say he cuts it straight or he talks straight. But for somebody in his position, I've always thought it was inappropriate, his comments and how he carries himself. Now, regarding the statement about Sergio Checo Perez, first of all, it's incorrect. Checo Perez is from Mexico, along with hundreds of thousands of Mexican Formula One fans. Mexico is not considered South America. It is part of the North American continent. So saying that Checo Perez from Mexico is from South America, in that instance, is really willfully, intentionally ignorant. It shows that he could care less, really, about others that are not really in his orbit that he takes an interest to learn about. It's lazy. The other part of the comment, that his head is not as focused as, say, the Dutch or a German driver, is it a racist and offensive statement? The answer to that question is yes. Does that mean Helmut Marko is racist? I don't know if I can say that, but certainly the comments were. And for somebody that is in his position and is as well-traveled and highly regarded in the Formula One ecosystem, it is completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable for him to say something like that. But he gets lazy, he runs his mouth, and, you know, I'm sure nobody stops him because he's the old man at the top, so he just blabbers on and sort of says all these comments in these interviews, and I guess that's where we have it. Now, let me say this about, first of all, Mexico. So Mexico obviously is our neighbor here in the United States to the south, and the Mexican people are incredibly hardworking. They are just such a hardworking people. And on another note, if you didn't know, a lot of the top boxers in the history of the sport were Mexican. There's even a saying called "fight like a Mexican," which is really a tough, determined, never give up attitude. If you've never heard that saying, it is true. Fight like a Mexican. It's a very descriptive way of describing the boxer athletes that have come from Mexico that have just been incredible athlete performers. So no matter what you feel about, you know, Mexico or their thought process, something crazy, like Helmut Marko would say, the Mexican people are incredible, and they're just incredibly hard workers. They're incredibly tough people, and it just shows Helmut Marko really, I think it's just lazy and intentional ignorance. I really do. I really do. Now, here's the problem for Red Bull. Earlier in the season, we had a video, and I had a video, and I was talking about the cost cap and how the FIA was looking at other aspects of the Formula One budget, meaning you couldn't go to another department Like if you had a yachting department, or Red Bull has a bicycle, very into bicycle racing, mountain bike racing, all of these things. You could not use the technology or put somebody on the budget from one of these other departments and have them contribute to your Formula One team and research. So when I read that earlier this season, I didn't really know much about Red Bull. I know they had the breakdance series, but I went and downloaded the app. And I realized how much they are involved all around the world with different cultures, subcultures, different sports. It was really awesome. So I do watch the Red Bull app once in a while, and they have climbing and mountain biking and breakdancing, and it's just awesome. So to have somebody like Helmut Marko really in such a position at Red Bull, which they're not going to get rid of him. The only thing they can do is just tell him to keep his mouth shut. But that brand is beloved in so many different subcultures with different people of color, different minorities, different ethnic groups all around the world. I think really Helmut is just like a loose cannon. And the bottom line is, right, what's the answer? He needs to apologize and he needs to shut his mouth, right? So he issued some kind of half-ass apology today. It wasn't really, remorseful. But I guess at this point, if they can just get him to keep his mouth shut, it would be a victory for Red Bull. So that's my comments. Those are my thoughts on Helmut Marko. Checo Perez is an incredible driver. He has a really great career. He's won a number of races. He's gotten a number of poles. He didn't deserve it. He really doesn't deserve these loose comments from somebody like Helmut Marko. So this was an important program. I know the video is a bit long, but I just wanted to say a couple things about what he had said. So let me know what you think. We're still a couple of days away from racing, or at least a week or so away from racing, but all things Formula One here at Paddock Headquarters. Thanks for watching the program. I'll see you tomorrow.